Brad Garlinghouse has some big news for all of us XRP Ripple fans. What about the big news from the Senate subcommittee? We have REGS. I'll share with you the news if you keep watching. We'll talk that. Price actions.
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Let's also talk about some of the losers. Props to them, because without them, there wouldn't be any winners. Happy late Monday, early Tuesday. Depends where you are in the world, or if you're just watching videos late, like a naughty person. U.S. and Canadian digital asset treasury firms, so firms that bought crypto. The average stock price is now down 43% for those companies. Proof that if you buy crypto, it doesn't solve all your problems. You could be a shitty company nonetheless. Now, we've got some big news in regards to REGS. Ooh. Senator Tim Scott's going to help us out. Ripple Brad Garlinghouse. You so, I know. But we got to do your comments first. Why? Because you are the viewer and you matter most. B, U6V says, it's kind of wild how this is the only time I've ever only listened to your videos while working, and here you are describing in detail what's going on to the screen. I'm making weird movements with my hands for all of you just listening and not watching, like animated movements, like George Costanza. What's going on here? Yeah, I appreciate all the listeners and the viewers. Carl Forrest says, hi, Klaus. Good news out of the link to bankruptcy. Okay, for everyone going through the link to bankruptcy, please comment down below and use this video as like a sounding board for as many voices as possible. Carl goes, good news on the link to bankruptcy. Looks like I will receive my Ripple shares at 95%. That's a win. For the risk BS that went through, that is a win. A bigger win would have happened, but Link 2 decided to screw two people over. Johnny Kinsman's hanging out. This is working off of Lake Norman this week. It's freaking cold, bro. I work outside, so it sucks. I was just reading about strategy buying. At least it wasn't a tip this time. Yeah, strategy bought a shit ton of BTC. And they got it for a pretty decent price. And it sucks because you're right. It is cold outside. I was freezing my balls off earlier. Bitcoin, 91,000. E 3134 at ADA at 43.5. XP at 208. Sol at 134. While XLM is at 24.3. What do we got for altcoin? No. It's BTC dominant right now. In fact, the alts are just in trouble until we get some regaronis. But guess what? I've got update-a-ronies on that, you jabronis. U.S. senators meet big bank CEOs ahead of December vote on crypto legislation. So, what's happening here is they're meeting with the bank people to see what kind of problems they have with it. All right? They're like, yo, let's talk to the crypto bros and gals. Let's also talk to the people that aren't so frickin' like bullish about it and see what their concerns are. The Senate Banking and Ag Committees are set to hold a voting session to regulate digital commodities and securities. According to the Senate Banking Committee, Chairman Tim Scott, committee members anticipate a vote in December, which could lead to a Senate floor vote at the beginning of next year. Yes, that would be great because maybe we could squeeze that in before the government shutdown bullshit. That'd be freaking awesome. According to industry reports, the bill also includes provisions that would exempt certain virtual assets, blah, blah, blah. I get it. You can check all this out. It's all linked in the description down below. The big news is thinking that they could lead to a Senate floor vote at the beginning of next year. We've got 9 out of 12 finance things that we got to like push through the Senate, or else the government shuts down again at the end of January. So if we can get this shit done beforehand, titties in the face. As soon as Mr. Scott gives us a schedule on what days those committee things are, we're going to try to cover it live for you. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, notification bell so you don't miss out. Yes! Oh, by the way, Senator Tim Scott is from the great state of South Carolina. That's where he's representing, and that's where this person here on the mic and on the camera is living right now. I love this place. I love the state. Been super happy since I moved here. I'm also going to keep track of the calendar. This is all linked down below. They've got some stuff that they've done, but nothing they've done as of late. All right, Bloomberg. We talked about some winners. Crypto Regs update. Thank you, Mr. Scott. We got to talk about some losers. U.S. and Canadian digital asset firms. Average stock price plunges 43%. A Bloomberg report shows that U.S. and Canadian companies holding digital assets in their treasuries are facing losses, with the median stock price down 43% this year. Part of the problem is, and don't directly correlate this to crypto, but remember, crypto isn't a life vest for all companies. if you're a company that's just struggling, and let's say you're not profitable, or let's say you're not growing, you're stagnant, and you're just bleeding costs because of inflation, if that's the case, buying crypto isn't going to really bail you out. Like, you're still going to suck as a company, right? Like, let's say you have management problems. You still are going to have shitty management even if you bought crypto. And what happens if this big blob up on the screen goes down in value? Well, then, oh shit, the things that you're kind of backing with are now worth less. So not only are you a shittier company, but you're a shitty company with, like, less value in your assets. Ooh, I know, right? So it's kind of a double-edged sword here. But basically, you can still just be a poopy company and be a poopy company. So 43% of those companies now are in the red. Wow. However, shares have since fallen 86% from their peak. That's Sharplink Gaming. Now, Brad Garlinghouse has some juice. XRP ETF juice. The global digital asset market is running in recovery mode after facing one of the brutal softs in history, and we got rid of the liquidations of a whole bunch of leveraging. The cumulative crypto market jumped by 3% in the last 24 hours to $3.12 trillion. BTC and ETH gained 6 and 14% in the last 7 days. Yeah, but I think we're still far from where we'd like to be. I mean, BTC, let's get to 100,000. I think ETH, a lot of players would like to be at 35. BNB, I think everyone felt better at 1,000. So, I mean, there are, don't get me wrong, like I said, there's green up on the screen, but it's still green from some, like, really bad lows. So, Brad goes to Twitter, and this is what you see. He goes 4 weeks. And XRP is now the fastest crypto spot ETF to reach 1 billion assets under management since ETH in the U.S. With over 40 crypto ETFs launched this year and alone, a few points are obvious to me. When there's pent-up demand for regulated crypto products, and with Vanguard opening up access to traditional retirement and trading accounts, crypto is accessible to millions, Brad's excited. Longevity, stability, and community are all underrated themes that matter to this new set of off-chain crypto holders. Yeah, it'd be nice if we had some more native token buying, wouldn't it? I mean, just throwing it out there. Like, I get it. Like, this is hot for Ripple as a company. But, I mean, we want to see some juice happen with the ETFs. Maybe more people will get into native token after these ETFs. And maybe when we get the regs from the government, Senator Tim Scott, let's hope going over, we'll get more price action juice with that. Speaking of, XRP right now is sitting at $2.08. Volume, $3 billion in the last 24 hours. There's your chart for you. Just kind of From 204 to 208, nothing too juicy. Push back a little bit just to 11.5. So, nothing too hot. We're friend zone. I mean, we're driving our car down the road, and the chick next to her, she's cool. I mean, she's a cool person to hang out with, but, nothing too exciting. And she looks at you the same way. She's like, not really dating anyone right now. I got really nothing to do, so let me just hang out with this guy. He's got a cool car. He's got a Carrera 4S. So what have we learned today? Well, that a Carrera 4S only gets you friend zone action. If you want the real deal, you gotta go turbo. And if you want freak nasty, you gotta go turbo S. We talking about action? We talking about cars? Maybe both. Market's just in a weird place right now. We really just need clarity on some things. And in the regs and the Senate subcommittees, that's a good start. We just hope it doesn't run into that freaking wall of government shutdown. That's the big worry. Of the 12, they've got 3 done in that last session. They've got 9 left, and we can't really throw more like money at stuff because we're already in super high amounts of debt, and the debt is relatively expensive for what's going on with earnings. So, yeah, we're kind of in a little bit of a predicament here. For XRP, HBAR, XLM, all of our ones that we cover here, it's going to be tugged by these macros. We got to hope to get some juice from Jerome Powell. That's happening in a couple of days. And honestly, we just need to get the banks into crypto, because the banks are also stopping things from happening too. The bank money is pretty big, and we need the banks more to embrace it, maybe as an offering rather than a competition. So that would help out. Just in my opinion, that's one of the things that would help out. The banks seem to be getting in the way. Warren, yeah, Deaton, you couldn't beat her, and look, see, we're still stuck with Warren shit. Choo-choo what? Well, the sign is going to say it on behind me. There you go. Oh, crap. There you go. Now I hit the right controller. Choo-choo what? Choo-choo bitches.